Welcome back to Broncos and Parts Garage. My name's Chris. If you're new to the channel, please stick around till the end. You'll see additional links for content we've already created and uploaded. For those of you who are already subscribed, thank you for your loyalty. Today I've got Ian with me. Ian, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your work history.
What's up, guys? I'm Ian. I've been a heavy diesel mechanic for quite a few years, and after getting a little bit tired of that, I switched gears for just a few months, and I was climbing cell towers, changing the light bulbs on top. But I am back to wrenching, and I'm super excited to be here.
All right, sounds good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we've going on? Well, I'll give you a precursor. This is our 1995 supercharged Ford Bronco. You've seen a lot of small, short videos on it. We've done burnouts. We've put a lift kit on it. Ian, tell them what we got going on here and tell them what we're doing today.
So we're in the final stages of wrapping up this 5.5-inch Superflex kit from Jeff's Bronco Graveyard.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. We've run into a few hiccups here and there, but for the most part, this kit was super easy to install and very straightforward. What we're going to be dealing with today is the issue of our drive shaft being too short after installing this lift kit. Now, if the Bronco was on the ground, we probably wouldn't be running into this issue, or if we had let the springs settle, once again, we wouldn't be running into this issue. But we want to get the drive shaft installed with the Bronco in the air before the springs are settled. And in this case, we're going to have to install some more parts.
Yep, what we got here is a spacer kit we picked up at Jeff's Bronco Graveyard. We'll put a link in the description below. And like Ian said, we're gonna be putting the spacer on here on your pinion flange. Some lift kits need this, some don't, as he stated. I don't wanna wait for these devers to settle. I wanna get out there and get this thing rolling. It's been in the air way too long. What do you say we get some tools and get started?
Let's go. All right, guys, first thing we're gonna do is bolt this drive shaft back up to the output flange of our transfer case. Most of you will not have to do this, as most times you don't have to take the drive shaft out when you're installing a lift kit. In our case, we went ahead and got a brand new drive shaft though. Now, there's always something to remember when taking out a drive shaft, and that is that you always want to mark with a paint marker where the flange on the drive shaft mates up to the flange on the transfer case. Once again, in our case, we didn't have to do that. It's a brand new drive shaft, and most of the stuff back here is brand new anyway, but we're gonna go ahead and get started with this. Now, one thing you might run into when installing the drive shaft back onto the output flange of your transfer case is the output flange being in a really annoying position. I used a 12.38 socket. In order to make that work, all I had to do was reach up to the shifter on the transfer case and bump it into neutral. This is gonna allow me to move the output flange freely, and I can reposition it any way that I need so that my wrench fits in here without hitting any of the splines on the transfer case.
Ian's got the drive shaft connected to the transfer case. We're gonna torque down these bolts in a little bit. I think it's 75 foot-pounds, but we'll do that on camera. Next thing we gotta do is get the kit out, okay? So we'll pull this out. I've got the spacer, it's made out of aluminum. We've got some instructions, which we're gonna, throw away because we're guys. No, I'm kidding. Read the instructions. They do come with Loctite. It comes with the hardware. We've got 4 bolts. I'm gonna cut this open real quick. Now, they're a little bit longer. The instructions say these go to 75 foot-pounds. I'm gonna put them in these salad bowls. That's what I call them. They're magnetic trays. I like these. Ian's old school. He prefers these chrome metal ones. I'll put links for both, but these come in really handy. I've got quite a few of them in the shop. You can throw stuff in them. They are magnetic based as well. More on that later. So what we're gonna do now is get this set up. We're gonna crack open this Loctite they supplied, and Ian's gonna put this thing in.
All right, guys, we're gonna continue with our installation of the aluminum drive shaft spacer. If you do not have the luxury of using a lift, it's important to remember to park your Bronco on a clean, level surface and have the wheels chocked, as having your drive shaft disconnected will allow the Bronco to roll in any direction it chooses. Make sure you read through your installation instructions and all of your warnings, and let's get this installed. Because this is a machined aluminum spacer, we have the luxury of being able to set this directly onto our differential flange and not have to worry about it falling off. So we'll get it centered over the grooves and make sure that I can see through all of my holes, and I can just leave it be. Next thing we're gonna do is we are going to slightly pull on the female end of our drive shaft just to extend it out a little bit and do our best to get it lined up. We can let that hang for a minute. I'm going to get the Loctite that was provided in the kit, as well as one of our extra long bolts that was provided in the kit. Get the cap off here, and we're just going to get a little bit of Loctite on our threads, and we will start threading these in. As you can see, that was very easy to do. This is a very, very easy thing to install on these Broncos. Now we're just gonna go through and get all of our bolts started, and we'll come back with a wrench in a couple of minutes. Now, when doing a job like this, it's always important to remember to get all of your bolts started before tightening anything down, just to make sure that everything lines up as it should. Now that I have all of my bolts started, I'm gonna come back with a 12mm 12-point socket, and I'm just gonna run all of these down until they make contact, and then we'll come back later with a torque wrench.
Keep in mind, guys, too, that a lot of socket sets you may own may only come with 6-point sockets. So again, we'll put links in the description below for a nice, inexpensive 12-point set if you find yourself in this position.
Because I have the luxury of using a lift, I am able to have my transfer case in neutral, which means that once I tighten up those two bottom bolts, I can spin the entire assembly, and I have clear and easy access to the other two bolts that still need to be run down. Now that these are all run down, we will go ahead and put the transfer case back into two-wheel drive. That will lock out our drive shaft and allow us to torque this drive shaft down.
We've already got the top bolts torqued down to 75 foot-pounds. We're gonna do the bottom bolts right now. I'm gonna do it in a crisscross pattern. That wasn't in the instructions. It just kind of makes sense to me. So we'll start down here on the bottom corner. That's it, guys. All right, we've got the spacer in. We got everything torqued down. It's a fairly simple project. In the future, we're gonna do a complete walk around this vehicle. We were going to make a how-to video putting in the lift kit, but we're gonna do that on another truck, excuse me, another Bronco. This is the first time I had done it. It was quite a job, but the next time we will be doing it all on camera, and I will be going around showing you every component that we put on here that did not come from the factory. This was fairly simple again. Ian, do you have anything to add?
Well, guys, all I would say is just take your time when you're doing something like this. Always remember to do things like chock your wheels, torque things down correctly, and if you've got to use 10 minutes to go to the store and get a paint marker, it really will save your day. Now, obviously, you could use power tools for this job. Personally, when I'm installing things like drive shafts or suspension components, I prefer to use things like handheld ratchets. It just makes me feel like I have a better grasp on what I'm doing, and you know, if any of the bolts tighten up prematurely, that could indicate a problem. Other than that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks for watching.